Hi.
Let's start everything over. Just the last 2 minutes. Bear with me just a moment. Oh, that is what I'm looking for. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Now that I have my act together, let's continue. The next presenter joined in Toastmasters in 2012 to be able to conduct better interviews, but little did he know when he joined Toastmasters, it would be taking him to take second in the 2013 District 16 Humorous Contest. Then, first in 2015 in the District 16 Evaluation Contest. He also led Sooner Toastmasters in 2013 to President Distinguished, and this year, that club has met its 16th year as President Distinguished in a row. Rob Trotter will talk today about the Distinguished Club Program and Club Success Plan. Please help me welcome Rob Trotter.
Thank you, Pam. And welcome to this special edition TLI, where I have never felt more pressure to say my piece and get off the stage for the main event. How many of you here were last night for Daniel Sperry's speech? For those of you who aren't, you missed quite a presentation. He gave a straightforward, informational, and what I felt inspirational speech on the reasons behind the districts. And really what stood out for me from his speeches were when he spoke about the moments of truth. And some of those things really held true. And it challenged me to go back to my club and really kind of take a look at some of the moments of truth. He also said that Ralph Smedley felt like the most important person in Toastmasters was the area director. And as a new area director, that really, really hit home. I thought, okay, I better step up my game. And then he said, his speech, the way he likes to give speeches, he stands at the edge of the speech, close to the crowd, in kind of a conversational approach. And he said, I'm not here to overwhelm you guys with flair and spectacular events. And then I thought about the speech I'm about to give. Today I am here to talk about the Distinguished Club Program and the Club Success Program. And to kind of give you a treetop version of what that looks like or how I feel it might be is when I was in the Boy Scouts working towards getting my individual award. It's all I was thinking about, getting up to my eagle. But with every merit badge I was getting, I was helping the troop get a troop or a group award. And the group awards that the troop were doing were designed to help us get our individual awards. And both together we're working towards the Boy Scout mission statement, which was basically to make us Boy Scouts more ethical and moral as we grow up. Well, since the Boy Scouts failed to do that for me, I am now in Toastmasters. Toastmasters has a very similar program where we work on our individual awards as we move through there. Our competent communicator, our advanced communicator, our competent leader, all the way up to our DTN. And as we work on these individual awards, we are helping our club get our group awards. Get our group recognition of the distinguished, select distinguished, and presidents. And together, these programs work together to get us to our mission, which is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning experience in which every individual has the opportunity to develop oral communications, leadership skills, which in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth. And that takes us to what the Distinguished Club Program really is. The Distinguished Club Program is a year-long program that starts on July 1st and ends on June 30th. And within that time, we are working to get a set of 10 goals that can help our club gain some recognition. And those goals are going to help each member work towards their individual growth, getting that Toastmaster mission of that self-confidence. It recognizes outstanding achievements, and it is that year-long program. So kind of break it down, the recognition is in 3 parts, and I'll get to this later, but just to kind of give you a preview. The 3 areas of recognition are distinguished, select distinguished, and president's distinguished. And it's all based on how many goals your club gets and the number of members. And that's a little pesky thing that can come up and bite us, and I will talk about that in great detail later on. I think it helps when we're learning the Distinguished Club program and these 10 goals to kind of break it down into 4 groups. When I was president in 2013, I really didn't understand what this was. I knew there was this thing out there, and I had all my members telling me I better not screw it up because we had such a streak going. So I had to kind of learn this. But one thing I figured out was it's kind of confusing and hard to keep track of. And if you look in your leadership manual, it's there on page 44. You can look at that and refer to that, and I suggest you do that a lot throughout the year. But it was my goal that by the end of this, you have maybe just a little bit better memory cues or something to help guide you through this program as we get to that June 30th date. But first, it helps if you break it out into 4 areas. The DCP 10 goals are broken out into education. That would be that competent communicator, that advanced communicator, all those speech manuals that we worked on. The 10 goals are also broken out into leadership. There's a couple of goals set there to help us guide us through our leadership. And then, of course, the membership. Everyone in Toastmasters knows it's all about getting members and helping get members and grow members. And so we've got some major focus and some goals going towards that. And then finally, we have these additional club goals, too, to round out and get us our final 10 points. Now, this is where it kind of was getting sticky for me as to what these goals were. And the first thing I will say is, you learn something every new. I was always calling them points. Points right up until just about yesterday. They're not points. They are goals. So if I say points, just someone give me a nice little polite cough to kind of help me get there. But we got 10 goals to get. And I was trying to think of how we could do this to just kind of help you just visually remember what these are. So that's why I came with these kind of visual cues to help you along. The first goal that a club can get would be the competent communicator. And you need 2 members out of your club to get a competent communicator. And I was thinking, what might help you remember the CC? And I thought, well, maybe Charlie Chaplin, right? The dude who was in all those silent films and then had to learn how to communicate competently when the talkie started. So there you go. When you're thinking about your first goal in Toastmasters, it might help you to remember the Charlie Chaplin. Now, goal number 2 is pretty similar to goal number 1. In fact, goal number 2 is exactly like goal number 1, whereas 2 more competent communicators that you get, or 2 more Charlie Chaplins to help you out. Everybody, this is my Vanna White, Brad Frizzell. Very largely the reason why I am up here, because every time I come up with one of these crazy, quirky ideas, and I ask him, he's like, yeah, good idea, go for that. Continuing on with the education goals, what happens after you get your competent communicator? What's the next level? Advanced communicators, right? You got your advanced communicator bronze, advanced communicator silver, advanced communicator gold. And I was thinking, what might kind of be a visual cue for advanced communicator? I came up with Agatha Christie here. Agatha Christie, who wrote all those fantastic books, Murder on the Orient Express, and had to start touring and giving speeches about her books and having to become an advanced communicator. So here we have Agatha Christie as our advanced communicator. Come on, Brad. So that's goal number 3, and it can be just any of those. It doesn't have to be Advanced Communicator Silver. Any member of your club that gets one of those, Advanced Communicator Silver, Bronze, or Gold, and you get the goal for that. And it just so happens that the 4th goal is very similar to the 3rd goal. In fact, it's just like it. If your club member gets another Advanced Communicator Silver, Bronze, or Gold, you get the goal for that one as well. So this rounds out the education portion. Remember, we have education, leadership, membership, and the additional goals. Here are your There are 4 visual cues of your goals for your DCP program on the education side. The next would be the leadership side. And really, to get leadership, all you need is just one CL, ALD, ALS, or DTM. And I was really thinking hard on what this visual cue might be, what could really help everybody. And I initially thought maybe Abraham Lincoln, advanced leader, but that doesn't cover the CL, really, doesn't help with that. So I thought, who could really encompass the CL, ALD, ALS, and DTM and help us remember what that leadership portion is? And the memory cue I came up with is Mr. Daniel Rex himself. Not only is it Mr. Daniel Rex, it's Daniel Rex in a bow tie, sporting that bow tie, looking very good. So as you're working towards getting your goals, your advanced communicator leader, Mr. Daniel Rex, it's in any of those, the CL, ALD, ALS, or DTM. That takes us to our 6th point, which as it so happens, thank you, our 6th goal, which as it so happens, is just like, or very similar to our 5th. In fact, it's just like it, which again is your advanced leader, Mr. Daniel Rex.
That's a leader.
That's a leader. That was like some kind of chili cheese dog concoction there. It was an interesting reading. I love Google. What can I say? So we've covered our education and we've covered our leadership, which brings us to the membership goals, how we get that. And how you get to the 7th goal part of that would be 4 new members. And all you got to do to remember 4 new members would be just to think of these surly characters here. Right? And here we've got our new member, our new guest that we're going to turn into members. We got this guy here who's joined. You know, we can work with him. He's got a problem with eye contact, and he really breathes heavy, so we need to kind of work with him on his breathing, right? And this guy right here, very intelligent, very smart, but he has a problem with sentence structure. The verb before the noun or the noun before the verb. It's all backwards. This fellow right here is full of filler words. That's all he is. He growls and ums and ahs and things. And we just need to get him to calm down. Get calm, and then he can just start speaking. And then, of course, this little gold guy right here. He's a little snooty. He's just kind of whiny in his speeches. And he's always telling us the odds. And we just need to kind of stop him from doing that and just kind of fill out his speeches. So that takes us to our 7th. The 8th, as you can imagine, as far as the goals would be another set of 4 new members. And to bring that in home today would be these characters right here. You know, we can help this guy right here. He just needs a little bit more emotion when he speaks. He's looking for heart when he comes out there and does it. And then the young lady, she's kind of running from her family. You know, she doesn't really know where she's going. She's come to Toastmasters to find a family. She kind of tends to break out into song a lot. We can kind of work with her on that. You know, the fellow down here, he doesn't think he's smart enough. And we know that we're all smarter than we really think we are and give us credit for, you know, that self-defeating prophecy thing. So we can kind of help him find that brain. And then, of course, why just about everybody joins Toastmasters in one form, shape, or another, is to find that courage. And we know we can help that guy there at the bottom. So there we go. We're now down to 8 goals. 8 goals. We got our education, our leadership, our membership. That takes us to those additional club points, what those might be. Goals, what that might be. And for that, we have these TLIs. We're at a TLI right now. And in order to get our goals for that 9th goal, it would be just to have 4 of your 7 officers go to both TLIs. So we don't need Gonzo or Beaker today, right? Kermit and Miss Piggy, Animal. We need Animal at all of them. But if we can just get 4 of our officers to come to each TLI, we can get those goals. But you have to do it both sessions. You have to do it in the summer and in the winter to get that 9th goal. And that takes us finally to our 10th and last goal. Those administrative things, those pesky little time zone deals that we got to get. And those include our Toastmaster membership report and our officers report. And so what I came up with on that was the dude from the office, right? Always looking for his office space. He's always looking for his reports. Yeah, I'd like to get my TMMR reports, please. That would be great. Right? And then, of course, Pat, and officer of all officers, we got to get those officer reports in. Now, how many officer reports and Toastmaster membership reports do we turn in each year? 2. But we only have to turn those items in once. So we just have to turn the reports in once and the officer reports in once. And we get that goal. So there we have it. These are our 10 DCP goals in living color right here. Our Charlie Chaplins, our Agatha Christie's, our Muppets, our Star Wars. When you're thinking of your plan and you're doing your club success plan, kind of consider who in your club is that pretty close to getting that competent communicator. Who in your club can get a competent leader this year? You know, what can we do to get these 4 new members? And how can we get through there? And this might, just maybe, kind of help you remember that and get to it. That's not it. That's not all. In order to get to our recognition of our distinguished, select, and presidential distinguished, we also have to talk about membership. We have to talk about this pesky thing called base that everybody in this room needs to understand. Base is the number of members that your club has on June 30th, and that is what the rest of the year is going to be counted on. And in order to be recognized at the end of the year, you have to get a net growth of 5 new members on top of that base, or have 20 members. And this little rule right here is always pesky. The late renewing members count towards your base. So on July 1st, you're all excited about the new year. You take a look and you see your base is 14, but you have 3 members who haven't renewed yet. They renew sometime later on in July. That's going to increase your base, so you got to keep an eye on that to make sure that you understand what your base is. And like I said, you can either have 20 or you got to have a net growth of 5 members to get to there. And you got to start off with 8. And then, like TLI today, this is something I didn't know, but if you're a president, you got to go to the president's TLI. You can't go to the VPE to get nominated for that bill. So this is what we're really all interested in. The recognition. If you get 5 goals, just 5 of these 10, your club will be recognized as a distinguished club. And that's no slouch. That is some work and effort in there for many clubs to get to those 5 goals. If you get 7, you get recognized as the select distinguished. And then the big one of them all, the Eagle Scout, if you will, the 9 of 10 goals would be the President's distinguished. So let's do a little testing of knowledge here, shall we? A little test time. A little Toastmaster math. Your club starts off with a base of 14. What date was that set? June 30th. Unless there was some of those late members or whatever, we'll just say June 30th. This club for this year, when does the year end?
June 30th.
Okay, so very good. So within that year, this club got 3 competent communicators. It got 2 advanced communicators. You were able to get 5 new members this year. You had 4 officers go to both TLIs. Very good job. You got your TMMR reports on time. Excellent. You did not get the pesky officer report in on either session. So how many goals did this club get?
6.
6. There's 1 there. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. And we just missed it on this because you have to have the officer report and the MMR report. So you can't do both on one. It's got to be both of them. So they have 5 new members this year. So do they get recognized?
Not necessarily.
It depends on the membership. Depends on If they lost him.
They got 5, okay, well, so for the advance of this, we're saying that they got 5 new memberships and their base is now 19. All right, so, yes, they are a distinguished club. Very good. All right, get you going here again. This club started off really strong, 24 members. This year, they got 4 competent communicators. They got an Agatha Christie, and they got that advanced leader. That good-looking man there. They got 4 new members and 4 new members. Officers went to both sessions. They got that TMMR report in, and they got that officer report in. So, how many goals did this club get?
9.
I heard 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very good. All right, so, do we know if they're recognized yet?
No.
Pesky membership. We got to really look at that. Now, they did get 8 members. So did they lose any is the question. So 18 members as of June 30th. So they've lost some. So, are they recognized?
No.
No bueno. No bueno for this club. What if, however, they had 20 members at the end?
Yeah, they did.
Very good. They are now a distinguished club. See how this works, kind of getting the handle of it, getting the feel for it? One more. This club starts off with a base of 19. They got an Agatha Christie. They got that advanced leader, thank goodness. They've got 5 new members. They got their TMMR and their officer reports in. So how many goals did this club get? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So membership or whatever, are they recognized? No, they didn't get the 5, right?
Right.
So they do end up with 23 members at the end of the year, so they're above the 20, but they didn't get there. Now this can be kind of confusing because it looks like they did get 4 new members here, and so you might think that they might get another goal for that, but obviously they had a net loss too, because they had 5 new members throughout the year. So this club, no bueno. So how do we get there? How do we get to there from here? Now what do we do? And that's what takes us to the next part of what's very important for us officers, is that club success plan. And the club success plan is what the officers, the Muppets, all sit down and figure out with the immediate past presidents, and it spells out the what, the who, and the roadmap of how you are going to obtain your recognition for your club. Make it realistic, make it attainable. If you're a club with just 8 members and you've been struggling at 8 members for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, don't sit there and set a goal for 20 or 30 members. 5 would be a great growth for that club for that year. So really try to make it something that you can do, attainable. Base it on the DCP program. Think of the Charlie Chaplins and the Agatha Christies and things. The underlying theme is where you are at and the obstacles that your club faces. So consider that as you move forward when you are doing this club success plan. Now the plan is broken out into a couple of sections. The first section kind of helps the leaders figure out where you'll operate as a team, what the general club the situation is. The situation of a club, like I said, with 8 members is very different than the situation of a club with 20. So you kind of got to know your club and kind of figure out where that is and just kind of take this assessment of what is the reality of your club. And then the following sections address the DCP goals, so you can kind of identify which members might actually get that CC, or is there anybody that's close to a CL? And what do we need to do in our meetings to make sure that they're given an opportunity to get these events and these recognitions so that they can advance and help us advance. So here's just a couple of my personal tricks of what I've learned or what I see when I'm working on these things. I first off just want to get the easy points. You know, just get the easy points out of it. Right?
Easy what?
Easy goals. You guys are going to break me of that yet. Easy goals. And I know I'm not the only one of you that call those points. I am up here doing that for you. Get the easy goals. And what might be the easy goals? You might be looking at all these 10 different goals and think, Which one's easy? So what might be easy?
Officer reports.
Officer training.
Okay. Get the reports. Get those reports in. That's just a matter of just making sure you do it. Setting that priority to do it. Get those in, and you're down. You've got one goal off the books already. Just easy peasy on that. And I think, and this can be set up for discussion, but I do believe that the officers would be one of the easier ones too. It's all about when you volunteer those officers to become officers, to make sure that they save the day. And making an event out of it and really make it a priority to get 4 of those individuals there. And it's very important that they do. And I think that that's relatively an easy kind of goal to get if you really focus on it and you make it a priority. So those would be, in my book, the easy points. Those are 2 easy goals. Those are 2 goals right off the books. The next thing is I think you just got to focus on that meeting experience. When, moments of truth, that's why it hit so home yesterday, was you got to have a great meeting. You got to have that energy and that synergy and really focused on growth and development and fellowship and get people just excited to come to the meetings and actually stay. Because they'll come. We get people coming all the time, but what gets them to commit to staying? And so you can do all the great PR out in the world, but if you don't have a great foundation meeting, a great experience there, they're not going to come back. They're not going to join. So you really kind of have to take a good hard look at your meeting experience and make sure that you're getting all out of it you can, that you're putting all of it into it that you can. And then you focus on that membership. You talk to those guests. You set goals with them. You find out why they join. People join for a variety of reasons. And some are just coming because they've got a conference in a few months. They want to get better at public speaking. Some just want to get better at talking to people in an elevator. Why are they here? And start engaging with them and figuring out what that is. And maybe we can kind of set up those plans along the goals there to really help those members so that they'll come and they'll stay. And they'll tell others about it, and they'll continue to come. It's a wonderfully vicious cycle if you can get on the right, correct cycle there. So focus on that membership. And then focus on the members. You get the membership there, you focus on the members to really help build them up to create that cycle. And you got a successful club year in, year out. And what I have found is I'm a particularly selfish person, and being part of a great club helps me. And I have grown just immensely by being part of a successful club that has reached all those, and I've benefited from that. So every time we get a new member, I grow as a result of it, unless it's Brad. And then I got to kind of work that out and figure out what that is. So there you have it, folks. Real quick, just out there, the 10 DCP goals, the club success plan. I'm at a yellow light. I might be able to take 1 or 2 questions if there are any. Do we have any questions? I know I do so well that all the information's there. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. Can you have a single member who contributes to more than one goal? For example, if they receive the Advanced Communicator Bronze and a leadership goal, they are both of those to the club?
The question was, can you have a single member advance to more than one goal? And the answer is yes. Now, I don't believe that they can get 2 CCs in the year. Is that right?
That's right.
Right, so they can't get the same goal.
They can get 2 CCs, but only one of them counts toward the club's Distinguished Club program.
Right. To clarify, you can get as many CCs in a year, but only one of them count towards the club. So when you're working on your DCP, that one member can't. In fact, Brad, he's he gets three a year on that. It's that little pin he's so proud of. But yeah, you can do that. Very good question. Very good question.
When are the reports due?
Excellent question. When are the reports due?
As soon as possible.
The TMMR report and the officer report.
Yes, those are the ones.
The officer report is due June 30th. All of the active clubs in District 16 have all turned in their club officer list for the year. The dues are due October the 1st and April the 1st, and there is no race, so pay your dues.
Very good. All right, well, that's a red light, and as Toastmasters, we end on time, so it has been a wonderful pleasure to be up here and just to kind of help you guys out with learning this. I really appreciate your time, and thank you. And now we can stop and go towards the main event, so thank you very much.